We start with breaking news tonight. Governor McMaster plans to file for a rehearing on South Carolina's controversial heartbeat law.
The announcement came toward the end of the governor's State of the State address tonight. McMaster says he disagrees with the state Supreme Court's decision that the law, which bans abortions after 6 weeks, violated the state constitution. Now, he says he now plans to fight this ruling.
When I signed the Heartbeat Act into law, I was confident that it was constitutional. I still am. Therefore, I will be filing a petition for rehearing next week along with other state officials, and I remain optimistic that we will prevail in our historic fight to protect and defend the right to and the sanctity of life.
Now you can see the governor getting a standing ovation in response to those comments. We'll continue to follow what comes next with this announcement. And coming up in the next half hour, we dive deep into McMaster's speech and the response from Democratic lawmakers.